Back. We're here at the end. Welcome back. This is Colonel David Giammona here at the NRB in Orlando, Florida, and we're having a wonderful week with many known guests, celebrities, faith leaders, and so we're excited that we're going to have some actors from The Chosen in the next couple of episodes. But before we do that, just want to let you know that we're sponsored by our good friends at Freedom Square. Get their app on iPhone, Android, and other applications. And it's good to have Troy Anderson. It's great to be here. And today I'm really just thrilled that Vanessa Benavente is with us because if people have watched The Chosen, they know that you are the mother of Jesus.
Well, I play the
Yes,
put it that way.
absolutely. Well, that's an impressive role, and your acting ability and just the connection with everybody. It's amazing to see that. How do you feel about just interacting with your fellow actors in an amazing event called The Chosen?
Oh my gosh. Fortunate doesn't even begin to describe it. It's just such a thrill. It's my happy place, as I always say, getting to act with all of them, but also to hang out with them because they're such lovely people and we've created such a family.
Yeah.
It's really a thrill too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you some really crazy question, like how does it feel to be the mother of Jesus? But we know it's acting, but you know what, Vanessa, I'm sure there are people out there, maybe you've run into them, that really can't separate the actress from the role, right?
Yeah, I think people are I'm quite surprised, to find out that I have this separate life. It doesn't involve me being in first century attire. It is, I guess, quite bizarre to see to familiarize oneself with an actor who's playing a role, and then because nowadays we have social media and they can really take a peek at our daily lives, to see us just running errands or doing just regular stuff. But they're also our fans are so supportive and so nice and so sweet.
It really looks like you guys, I've seen some of the outtakes and things. It looks like you have a great time
Oh
with
my
the show.
goodness,
And Dallas Jenkins must be really wonderful to work with as well.
yes, he's so generous and so open, and we also, I feel like I trust him completely, because I feel like his vision is so powerful. I know that whatever he tells me to do, it's right on point, and I just follow his lead.
It's easy to take acting directions from him.
Oh, definitely, and very inspiring too. I always tell this story where in the first season, I was about to do the scene with Jonathan where I asked him to do his miracle.
I love that scene.
And so, I was coming in, I guess, a little bit more like quiet, and he's like, no, you are Mary, the one who's been looking for Jesus for 3 days, the one from the first scene in that episode. You are Mama Bear. You are, this is a very important thing for you. Like, I really, get find that strength, that is also something that Mary must have felt and must have been like.
Yeah.
And it was super inspiring to me, going like, right, I mean, all the images I had from Mary were where she's, very vulnerable and very emotional and very fragile. This woman had to have gone through so much, and has to have been so strong. And we tend to forget that because the moments we've seen her have been very specific and very extreme. So the fact that this show really is opening up the door to see what these people were like on a day-to-day basis, it's just so rich and so inspiring.
Before we get over to Troy, I kind of want to set the stage, and you're coming into this role how did you prepare as an actress to get into the role of the mother of Jesus? I mean, it's got to be like astoundingly difficult.
You know what? I feel like I try to focus on her humanity. I mean, because if I try to play the mother of Jesus or the mother of God,
Right.
how do you begin? What does that mean? You know, I don't know what that means. So I just tried to think of a woman who must have been, uh, 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 you know, has had this incredible life experience from very young. Like I was telling you, she must have been strong. She must have been, but there's also in the writing, there's so much levity
Right.
to her, and she
Right.
cracks jokes and has a sense of humor. And so there's all these different sides of her that make this particular version of Mary so rich and so interesting to play, that if you focus on try to make her more human, it is so much more compelling in my
Whatever he says, do it. Troy.
The Bible says the Lord ordered our steps. How did you get this?
well, just a little bit like any other actor gets a role in Hollywood. I auditioned for it. It's not a really particularly interesting story, but I will tell you, I was working a 9 to 5 job. I had to ask for like an extra hour for lunch. Like an extra long lunch just to cover my bases, just to know that I would be back in time.
Do you happen to know how many people were competing? Did you have
You know,
any
I
idea?
don't have a number, but I do know that they had been looking for Mary for a while because they when I auditioned for it, I think I was shooting like a week after that.
Right.
So I'm sure they must have been looking for this character for a while. And I also know that it was between me and someone else who was slightly older. And it was Dallas's wife, Amanda, who said, no, it's gotta be her. So
She
I got a lot to be thankful for.
Absolutely. And to follow on with the choice question, so you went through this audition process, then you got the script. How did you prepare? I mean, we talked about it a little bit, but how did you, as you read the script, did you say, "Oh, I don't know, can I really do this?" Or what was going through your mind?
I thought that there were so many scenes that I really had like a visual almost connection to. The very first scene where she's looking for Jesus and she hasn't seen him in 3 days.
Yeah.
Never ceases to give me goosebumps just thinking about it. There was something that I think if I hadn't been a mother at the time, and this is very personal because I feel like a lot of actors who have not, had children play wonderful mothers. But in my case, I feel I had a very clear idea of what needed to happen in that scene and what the stakes were. This woman hasn't seen her child in 3 days. I don't know what state I would be in if I hadn't seen my child in 3 days. And I'm actively looking for him. So she's been doing that for 3 days.
It's intense.
It's intense.
Yeah.
So I kind of I almost felt what needed to be done more than know it with my
That's
head.
good. Yeah.
And I think it's because I just put myself in her shoes and having just had a baby, to me, it was crystal clear.
Before we get back to Troy, something that really is, I've always wanted to ask actors and actresses in any role. So you played this part, you've learned the script, you've done the role. Has any of that really impacted your life personally as far as playing this particular role?
For sure. And I always say, any character that you play as an actor, any character that you play, will teach you something if you're listening. And with Mary, I mean, it's like done, right? It's her face. It's her just saying yes to everything, yes to the hardest thing a mom could go through is know that her child, I don't know exactly how much she knew, but we think she had an inkling, and definitely right now we're approaching in this season and the following seasons, we're approaching moments when she definitely knows that there's something big coming. And so saying yes to that and knowing that it's because you're part of something bigger than you, and you're just a very small part of this puzzle. It's I don't know how she could have done that. I still don't know. And so the fact that I don't know just makes me want to ask more questions and find out more things about her and more. So I just think she's so inspiring.
Sure.
You played the role of Mary, the mother of Jesus. What can you play this role? Any experience or thinking about what life would have been like for her, what her experiences she had being her mother, right?
Definitely, it's always in the back of my mind, and what's wonderful about this show is that they give me the chance to explore her life, not only in the moments that we know so well from the Bible, but in any other moments in her life. And it's with a friend and with the disciples, because I never really had a clear picture of what her relationship with the rest of the disciples was like. I love that we got to explore more of her relationship with Mary Magdalene and the messengers. And of course she sees her as a daughter, like I it all becomes so much clearer to me now, even though we've read these stories hundreds and hundreds of times. It's like it's almost like something goes click, and you go, oh, right, this is what it must have been like. And it's so rich to get to explore all these different paths.
So many avenues to explore, and we have a limited amount of time here, but your relationship to the other actors, actresses, as you alluded to, how has that impacted your acting and your role as Mary, and in dealing with Jonathan Romy or others, in the cast? I'm just kind of curious about that.
Well, I mean, we have one. I mean, oh my goodness. We're lucky to have each other as friends, but I mean, they're so talented, and to get to act opposite Jonathan is fantastic.
Is it true that he is? You don't have to give the secret out. It's funny. Is he directionless, or what would be the word? He doesn't understand direction as far as left side, north, east, west. I saw a documentary. He doesn't know which direction to go, and I thought, oh man, I don't want to follow that Jesus. Is that actually true?
Funny, I have no idea. I had never heard of this before. But no, Jonathan is the sweetest, and he's also the funniest person. So I mean, he's a delight on and off set, but on set, I think we've definitely created this relationship, which a lot of viewers have I always get messages talking about the relationship between you and Jonathan. It starts with the writing, because our writers are just divine, and those scenes we get to play are just chef's kiss. So we're lucky that way. But also there's this thing with him where sometimes we start improvising,
Right.
his mother and his son, and it's like boom, it really, you really end that on that wavelength together. It's beautiful. I love working with him, and I've also had a lot of scenes with the ladies in the cast. It's also
Oh, I bet.
so great to be telling stories about women in this era, which we don't have a lot of information about
Right.
the women in these times. So
So tell us, our viewing audience, maybe they're not familiar with Chosen. Tell her where we are in the episodes and where we're going. I mean, you don't have to give anything away, but we're done with so many episodes so far. Where are they? And then what's going to happen next? And when is that going to happen?
yeah, so we are shooting season 4 as we speak.
Right.
And we are planning on doing 7 seasons. And most likely the crucifixion resurrection will take place in season 6 around that time. I'm not sure exactly what season 7 will bring, but we have full trust that our writers will bring something new and
When
fresh.
will season 4 air? Do you have any?
I'm not so sure. Probably by the end of this year, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Sure. For the first time, this genius story is much. I always thought you got there an incredible sense of humor. You guys sort of captured this interaction between the genius and the excitement. You talk about some genius humor on this series and down Jenkins' role.
Oh my gosh, Dallas has everything to do with it. I think it's a lot of Dallas's voice is serious with humor, and our writers play that so well. It's just some moments that are just so precious because they're you're crying one minute and then you're laughing the next, and it's amazing. But yeah, and I think also they are starting now, or they have been for a while, writing to the strengths of the actors. So we know, like they are now really developing different personalities, and Nathaniel being more outspoken, or and Matthew dragging like even he has a sense of humor, because I feel like they are writing to these characters also with what the actors bring to the role,
Right.
which is so smart.
Yeah, I mean, as you go in the seasons, the acting comes to the forefront, and so they're playing to the strengths of those.
Yes, yes.
So let me ask you a more difficult question.
Ooh.
It's this: what's coming.
Mhm.
There's no secret. Is it hard for you to think about that in terms of how you're going to act through the very emotional, tough things that you may be called upon as an actress to do?
Yeah, I every day. It's like there. Yeah, and I think it's because it's so iconic, and it's so and it's been done in so many beautiful ways. There literally have been sculptures made of this moment. So it's also so universal. It's a moment, grief in the moment where you lose someone and you're there while they're passing. And I can't even begin to imagine what it must have been like, but it definitely, I have so much faith in our writers. I'm sure they'll be doing something very special, very unique. They'll have a take on it that is something that we haven't seen before. So that in itself just kind of calms my nerves and my anxiety, because it'll be something new. It
Sure.
won't be something that it's been seen over and over again.
I just thought if you didn't have nerves and anxiety, you really wouldn't be much of an actress, right? I mean,
Exactly.
you got
I think we are riddled with us. No, it's just sometimes it's excitement too,
I talked to Mel Gibson about before his movie on Jesus came out. He was telling me we were at Fort Benning together. He was making another movie. We were soldiers, and he was telling me he's going to make a movie, but it's not going to have any English in it. And it's about the life of Jesus and his crucifixion. I go, what kind of movie is that? But I'm sure you were preparing for this. You may have seen the movie or watched the movie, and all the dynamics that went in and the age that Mary was that impactful into your life somehow as far as your role in this as Mary?
Well, I purposely did not
Okay.
go back and watch anything because I thought when I read the script, I felt like it was such a fresh take on Mary and, and something that I myself was so interested in and how human it was and how down to earth she was. I didn't want to get it too much in my head about, oh, she played it this way and she played it that way, or maybe I prefer this way. No, I wanted her to be a person, a different person than what we've seen.
Troy, we're running out of time, but it's going quick. Maybe a last final question.
Shakespeare said that all the winds of stage are never cards. The Bible talks about great cloud of witnesses. One day we're all going to meet there. Can you imagine what that day might be like?
That would be amazing. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, it would. I hope she's happy. with what we're doing.
Hey, she's gonna say, hey, I could give you a few pointers.
Listen, when you notes,
Favorite, any kind of anecdotal fan things about you and Mary and people coming up to you?
oh my gosh, everyone always, comments on the makeup and how they really hardly recognize me without all the
Oh.
aging makeup. And I always say, the minute someone does recognize me, I'll be worried. But no, it's our fans are amazing. I'm never tired of talking about how supportive and how loving they are.
Well, we're so glad you graced us today, Vanessa. And thank you, and Godspeed as you go forward and on this. We'll keep you in our prayers as you go forward and doing this, and hopefully this will open up other amazing doors in the future for you for acting and and all of that. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming
so
on
much.
the show today and just being part of what we're doing here at the NRB.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. And what a wonderful interview with Vanessa. And stay tuned. We have other great guests coming from The Chosen. But I have a question for all of you as we sign off. Are you battle ready?